morning. This is the day the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, pastor at Living Faith Church, which is located in the state of Florida, in the city of Port St. Lucie, in the master plan community that is called Tradition. We are west of 95. We are south of Vero Beach, and north of Palm City, north of Jupiter, and if you don't know that, we're north of West Palm Beach on the east coast of Florida. And today is Friday. It is Friday, April the 8th in the year 2022. So we're focusing this week on the scripture reading that we had about Mary, the sister of Lazarus, who had been raised from the dead by Jesus. That puts us in the time frame that we're in, right? Post Lazarus being raised from the dead. And Mary is also the sister of Martha, and they live in Bethany. So we're going to continue on. We're looking at the next scripture passages that come right after that. And this sits right before Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, which we will celebrate on Sunday. So let's take a look at what we have, the verses that we have. It's we're in John chapter 12, verses 9 through 11. When the great crowd of the Jews learned that Jesus was there at the home of Lazarus, they came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death as well, since it was on account of Lazarus that many of the Jews were deserting and were believing in Jesus. There's so much in here for us to talk about. But the one thing I do want to talk about is that many times we can say some very anti-Semitic things about the Jews killing Jesus. No. This is humanity. This is humanness. This is what each of us is capable of. And we think that we're not, but it is evident around us. Here we have Jesus, who more people are beginning to follow. Okay, and we have Lazarus, evidence of the fact that Jesus is able to conquer death. And so what's happening is there's this human condition of not wanting competition, right? We like to be the quote unquote king of the hill type thing. And we don't like it when our power is taken away from us, right? That is part of the human condition. Some of the things that I wrote down is we'll do anything to eliminate anything that would call into question our power. And that is exactly what we're facing here. You know, Jesus is providing life and life abundant. And for some reason, right, the focus is more on self-preservation of power. Now, I also do believe that some of the leaders truly were questioning, is this the Messiah? Some of them were. We know that Nicodemus was one of them. There were many that were questioning. But then there were the others that wanted to hold on to their power and were not willing to see that perhaps God was doing something new in their midst. We see this today in life. We can see it on the scale of what's happening with the Ukraine and Vladimir Putin, and that power, ego, craziness, and what it can do, eliminating people. We can see it at times in politics. We can see it in times in our relationships with each other. You know, who has to be right at all costs? Who has to be the one who is the power person? Elimination of the competition. And we may not go so far as to seek the physical death of someone, but many times we go so far as to emotionally emotionally kill someone. And sometimes we don't even realize that's indeed what it is that we're doing. So this rings true for us as humans. What is being pointed out here is that many times we don't even realize that we are choosing death over life. We are choosing self and the need to be in power over the opportunity for all to share together. It's kind of, we can think of that accumulation, right? It's me, mine, as opposed to ours. And so that's really what spoke to me about this particular passage. Not only did they want Jesus gone, but also Lazarus, the actual evidence that Jesus has defeated death. Well, on that note, Jesus has defeated death in his death, because death doesn't ultimately have the final say. And so no matter how many times we transgress, how many times we continue to focus on self, remember, we're human. No matter how many times we do that, we have a God who is abundant and gracious and giving and forgiving, this unconditional love. So on this day, take that unconditional love, that abundance, and take it out into the world wherever you go. Think about your interactions and why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it truly for the sake of the other? Is that what you're doing? Or do you have other motives in mind, just like the leaders did, those that were in power back 2,000 years ago? And I will see you back here tomorrow for Contemplative Centering Prayer Saturday. Blessings.